World News Today, October 5th, 2025. Top 10 stories. Intro and hook. 0 to 030. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we bring you the world's most important news stories every single day. And wow, do we have a packed show for you today. We're talking federal agents in shootouts on American streets, major Supreme Court decisions affecting hundreds of thousands of people, a potential breakthrough in the Gaza conflict, and a political earthquake in Europe. This is October 5th, 2025, and these are your top 10 world news stories. Let's dive in. Story number 1, federal shooting in Chicago. 0:30 to 1:15. We're starting with a breaking story that has Chicago on edge right now. Federal agents shot a woman on the city's southwest side in the Brighton Park neighborhood yesterday. And what happened next turned into hours of intense confrontation. According to the Department of Homeland Security, their patrol was rammed by 10 cars, though that account hasn't been independently verified yet. After the shooting, protesters flooded the streets, and things escalated quickly. We're talking tear gas, federal agents in tactical gear, and a tense standoff that lasted for hours. This incident is raising serious questions about federal law enforcement operations in American cities and the use of force. The investigation is ongoing, but tensions are running extremely high in Chicago right now. We'll keep you updated as more details emerge. Story number 2, Trump to deploy National Guard in Illinois. 1:15 to 2 o'clock. And speaking of Chicago, this next story is directly connected. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is calling out the Trump administration for what he's calling an absolutely outrageous and un-American move. The administration plans to federalize 300 members of the Illinois National Guard. Governor Pritzker says the Illinois National Guard received this notification just yesterday. This is a huge deal. Folks, when the federal government federalizes state National Guard troops, they essentially take control away from the state governor. This appears to be part of a broader Trump administration strategy for federal intervention in Illinois, and it's creating a massive political firestorm. The governor is pushing back hard, but federal authority in this situation is pretty clear-cut. This is going to be a major constitutional showdown to watch in the coming days. Story number 3, Supreme Court ruling on Venezuelan deportations. 2 o'clock to 2:45. Now to a Supreme Court decision that's sending shockwaves through immigrant communities across America. The court just ruled that the Trump administration can remove temporary protected status from Venezuelans, putting more than 300,000 people at risk of deportation. TPS was designed to protect people from countries experiencing war, natural disasters, or other extraordinary circumstances. Venezuela has been dealing with a severe political and economic crisis for years. But now, with this ruling, hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans who built lives here, people with jobs, families, kids in school, are suddenly facing the possibility of being sent back. This is one of the biggest immigration decisions in years, and it could affect how TPS is handled for other nationalities too. Immigration advocates are calling it devastating, while the administration says it's about enforcing the law. Either way, 300,000 lives just got turned upside down. Story number 4, breakthrough in Gaza hostage crisis. 2:45 to 3:45. Okay, shifting to the Middle East, where we might, and I stress might, be seeing a breakthrough in the Gaza conflict after 2 years of devastating war. President Trump is hailing what he calls a major development. Hamas has offered to release all remaining hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he hopes all hostages will be returned by October 13th, that's just over a week away. In response, Israel has eased its military offensive in Gaza. Bloomberg is reporting that Israel has reined in its strikes, and the Israeli military is signaling a potential easing of operations. Trump is urging Hamas to move quickly on a broader peace plan. Now, we've seen false hope before in this conflict, so cautious optimism is the name of the game here. But the Trump administration is sending Steve Witkoff and Andrej Kushner, yes, that Kushner, to the Middle East to try to seal a hostage release deal. The fact that both sides are even talking about timelines and conditions is more progress than we've seen in months. This could be a turning point, or it could fall apart. But for the families of those hostages and everyone affected by this war, this is the most hope they've had in a long time. Story number 5, Czech Republic election results. 3:45 to 4:25. Let's head to Europe now, where Czech voters just made a big statement at the ballot box. Billionaire populist Andrej Babis and his ALDS party have won the parliamentary elections. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Babis is one of the Czech Republic's richest men, and he's been a controversial figure in Czech politics for years. He's been compared to Trump and other populist leaders around the world, running on an anti-establishment platform despite being, a billionaire establishment figure himself. Here's the catch though, ALDS fell short of an overall majority, which means Babis will need to form a coalition government. That's going to involve negotiations and compromises, which isn't exactly the strongman image he's been projecting. This is part of a broader pattern we're seeing across Europe, populist parties gaining ground, traditional parties struggling, and voters looking for alternatives to the political status quo. The Czech Republic just became the latest example. Story number 6, Mariners vs. Tigers playoff matchup. 4:25 to 5 o'clock. Alright, let's switch gears to sports. Baseball fans, you're going to love this one. The Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers are meeting in the postseason for the very first time in their franchises' histories. Game 1 of the ALDS is happening, and this is a matchup nobody saw coming at the start of the season. The Tigers especially have been the Cinderella story of this year's playoffs. They barely squeaked into the postseason and then got hot at exactly the right time. The Mariners have that incredible pitching staff that's been dominant all year. It's a classic baseball showdown. Seattle's elite pitching versus Detroit's momentum and hot bats. If you're a baseball fan and you're not watching this series, what are you even doing? This is playoff baseball at its finest. Two hungry teams. First-time matchup. Everything on the line. Story number 7. UFC 320 results. 5 o'clock to 5:35. For all my MMA fans out there, UFC 320 went down last night at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And what a card it was. The main event featured the highly anticipated rematch between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. The prelims delivered some absolute bangers, with several finishes that have people talking. I won't spoil the main event results in case you're still catching up on the card. But let's just say the light heavyweight division has some serious clarity now. Pereira has been on an absolutely insane run in the UFC. The guy went from middleweight to light heavyweight and has just been demolishing people. Whether you're Team Ankalaev or Team Pereira, you can't deny both these guys are elite-level fighters. If you missed it, go check out the highlights. The UFC's official site has all the post-fight interviews and recaps. Trust me, this one's worth your time. Story number 8, Florida State vs. Miami availability report. 5:35 to 6:05. College football fans, gather round. One of the biggest rivalry games of the weekend is happening today. Number 18 Florida State taking on number 3 Miami. The final availability report dropped yesterday evening, and both teams are looking relatively healthy for this massive ACC showdown. This rivalry has been must-see TV for decades. And with Miami ranked in the top 3, the stakes couldn't be higher. The Hurricanes have been absolutely rolling this season. Their offense has been explosive, and their defense has been suffocating. Florida State is coming in as the underdog, but rivalry games have a way of throwing rankings out the window. If Miami wants to stay in the college football playoff conversation, they can't afford a slip up here. But FSU would love nothing more than to play spoiler. This is going to be intense, emotional, and probably decided in the fourth quarter. Story number 9, Middle East diplomatic efforts. 6:05 to 6:35. Circling back to the Middle East situation because there's another important angle here. The Trump administration's diplomatic push is getting serious. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Trump is personally sending Steve Witkoff and Andrej Kushner to the region to seal the hostage release deal we talked about earlier. This isn't just low-level diplomacy, this is the president's inner circle getting directly involved. Kushner, of course, was heavily involved in Middle East negotiations during Trump's first term, working on the Abraham Accords and other initiatives. The fact that he's being brought back into the fold shows how seriously the administration is taking this moment. Multiple sources are confirming that Israel is easing its military operations as a sign of good faith while these negotiations move forward. Whether Hamas follows through on their offer remains to be seen, but the diplomatic machinery is definitely in motion. Story number 10. Recap and perspective. 6:35 to 7:15. So let me just take a breath here because wow, what a news day. Right? We've got domestic tensions reaching a boiling point in Chicago with federal agents in the streets, and the National Guard potentially being federalized. We've got the Supreme Court making decisions that affect hundreds of thousands of lives. We've got potential breakthroughs in a 2-year war that's caused immense suffering. We've got political shifts in Europe. And yes, we've got sports because we all need something fun to talk about too. This is the world we're living in right now in October 2025. It's complicated. It's fast-moving. And honestly, it's pretty intense. Whether you're worried about domestic politics, international conflicts, immigration policy, or you just want to know who won the big game, it all matters. It all affects us. That's why we're here every day trying to make sense of it all and keep you informed. Outro and call to action. 7:15 to 8 o'clock. Alright everyone, that's your world news roundup for October 5th, 2025. Before you go, let me ask you this. What story are you most concerned about? Are you worried about federal-state tensions in Illinois? Are you hopeful about potential peace in Gaza? Do you think the Supreme Court's deportation ruling was right or wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And I actually read these comments. If you found this video helpful, informative, or even just mildly entertaining, smash that like button. It genuinely helps us reach more people who want to stay informed. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day, breaking down the news that matters in a way that makes sense. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. I'll see you tomorrow with another full rundown of what's happening in the world. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and take care of yourselves. Peace out. End of script. Estimated read time, 7 to 8 minutes. Word count, Approximately 2050 words.